Like, they profited heavily off the end game. Like a lot of kills kind of going over early. To them meant that they could play that final circle, like you said, very calm. 16,000 damage is not a lot. That is, you know, that's lower than most off DPS we see getting it in victories. Like KLA played that game very patiently, and they just capitalized off the end of the game. So really nice stuff from them. And it's nice to see KLA kind of showing up, because there's been so many really solid teams over these last couple of weeks, and KLA, I think they've struggled to shine.
Yeah, I mean, they had such a good game plan, even off the rip, right? You take a look at those early fights, and speaking of early fights, we're taking a look at the replays here. Baoda's view here, these are Viper ults, absolutely massive. This is how Baoda was able to take control of these final circles. Realistically, were those massive Viper ults that they were throwing out here, but this right here, CXZ, holds onto that ult to the very final moment here, and this is absolutely crucial for KLA to come out on top here, that patience. But I mean, even early on, when we saw them off of the rip, right, we saw them coming in, we saw them finding isolated fights, picking up third parties. As we go to take a look at some of these replays from our last game, brought to you by Team Thunderbolt here. And we're on to Team GG here. 330 with that jabbing, really putting in work on the members here of this other team that jabbing, doing so much damage off the back of this staff. As we see, you know, we were just talking about Kurumi MVP here. I mean, 330 here, putting in absolute work. Look at the range shots. Jabbing, range shots, keeping the team alive here. Coming back in, there's another jabbing to clean up another elimination here. 330. If ever there was a discussion to be had about a Kurumi MVP, it would have to go to 330 in this game, Jake.
I mean, yeah, I want to say it. It's been so long, man. Kurumi keep getting robbed for it. That's all I'm saying. Our Kurumi players, I know the character's very strong at the moment, but they are playing it super well. There it is, GG. They just played this final circle really well, and I mean, kind of moving away from GG, also on the Alliance's side, like, they are so close. They're like having a very good day. They just need to keep this up, because they were a bit of a step away from JL in the standings overall, and now they are a bit of a step away ahead of JL in the standings. They've done a lot of work in these first two games, and JL probably a little bit nervous and looking to probably play these next 4 games a lot better than they have the first 2, because they have been a little underperforming. But no, it's going to be the Zai MVP. I'm not overly surprised, to be honest. It was still a very good game from their Zai. A lot of damage. Big game coming in though from the side of GG, and we're going to have a look back on all of that action. Again, the Kurumi POVs, getting a look at the healers.
Yeah, I mean, GG absolutely in the beginning here. And again, this is what we talked about, right? They tear this team apart. Third party comes through, and then they just look and start taking picks on other teams left, right, and center here. This is really what escalated them into having an insane game off their early start here. And it's very difficult for some of these other teams to really come in to make things happen. GG really just tore this lobby apart. You hear some of the comments coming through here. The Kurumi doing their best to keep CJS alive here. Able to slide in the last second, get that heal off, get CJS back into the fight here. And this is where they started hunkering down and chasing some of these eliminations here into this early game with the follow-up here coming in. That legendary staff here, by the way, putting in absolute work. 2 of their members here, CJS as well as 330 on the staff. 330 with the legendary full jade, and CJS crucially with the jabbing. If you notice, they split those 2 jades up so that CJS can keep the pressure up with that jabbing from the staff, that potential big hit damage coming off of it, while 330 just creates space over and over again for them here in the final moments and throughout the entirety of those final zones. Unfortunately for them here, they do finally run out of steam here, and this is one of the problems with being that team that takes control of the circle, right? Is that for GG, it means you're out of steam a little bit, right? You've spent a lot just maintaining maintaining control of that circle. So they miss out on that multiplier, but they do take a huge game, and it looks like we're going to have a Takeda MVP coming in from the members of GG here. An absolute points, very, very spread out, right? Not like GG, who dominates and siphons up 30 points in the previous game. As we are going to take a look at our replays here, brought to you by Thunderbolt Gaming. TE in the early game here. This was just so much damage. They turn immediately onto WBG. As we head back into our realm of Yang here, Pampy just getting absolutely juggled there as we WBG cleaning up the king. And then in the end here, Sleepwalker coming over, clutching up some of these eliminations onto OUG on the edge of the zone here. WBG having a really good game. Alliance as well here as they come over and clean up the members of KLA. Yuma really just taking control of this fight onto 17. Just the 1v1 going through. CXZ trying to come in and clutch it up there, but Yuma not having any of it. Yet again, Yuma coming over here to finish off CXZ in the end there. And then in these final moments, Yuma coming together here with the Takeda. He's just going to get a massive shove on all of these players, and that damage when they die to the zone because of the ultimate here, the Furin shove coming in, going to buy them a lot of eliminations. Those eliminations that, of course, clutching it out there to get the multiplier going to be what brings them the MVP.
There it is!
And speaking of MVP, the Kurumi MVP coming through for Jake. We are going to head in and take a look at some of these replays. And again, GG, again, this is something I called at the beginning of the game, right? They dropped specifically on S1 in their first game here on Morris Isle. The strategy, absolutely the same here in their second game on Morris Isle. The slaps come through, but GG having none of it as they clean up all of S1 to build themselves up. They head into their first realm of Yang. They win this realm of Yang, as you see here off the back of Battle Rumi. Rumi going to get parried here, trying to come in. They do get that staff back together here, but that just holding the Rumi together here for their team as GG cleans up these eliminations. The tether onto LXM while they take the opportunity to take a little bit of a reset here. They come in, they get Kurumi just pinched between everybody here, and 330's having nothing to do with it. Again, 330, 11 eliminations this game. We talk about Battle Rumi, and 330 showing us how Battle Rumi is done. There you go, does get caught out by the whisk here, so that they can't get the scale rush and then clean up the elimination there off the back of the van. And then here we are with these musket shots. Keep in mind, GG also wins their second realm of Yang, so they get that early fight, they win that 2 realms of Yang for 9 of their eliminations this game, and the double shots there onto 17. Another really clean musket shot getting ready to come through here as well. Look at this, the patience. You think about all the pressure in that final zone, how many players are zipping around, and you have the patience to just hold off and look for that musket shot onto a 10, no less. The stun comes out here from the Viper, it's just canceled out. Look at how close they stand to the wall. Cancels a lot of that damage on top of it. The Rumi just keeping the heals coming through. Comes in, looks for a good opportunity, will find some damage there onto this player, gets the elimination, keeps it going here, and then they just let their Takeda take it away from here, right? Takeda comes in, they've got the Furin shoves online. That's all they need to keep it going. They're able to hold out. They get that first place multiplier.
Oh my
huge game. There it is.
2 games in a row. Available. You can only get them through winning, like with the kill multiplier through winning games. So it makes such a big difference. As looking at OUG's POV for this game. This is who are they playing versus in this fight? I can't remember now. I can't remember for the life of me. But this GG Valda bubbles. There you go. I honestly thought there was a moment where the Valda was being annoying enough to shut them down, but the problem is the other 2 members were just stopping Xinyu from, well, Xinyu was being dealt with, but the other 2 members were just dealing with the rest of GG.
Yeah, the problem was that GG couldn't capitalize onto Valda catching those picks onto Xinyu realistically, right? Valda doing a really good job of shutting down the Kylan ult, but because the rest of GG was being kept separated, there just wasn't enough focus onto the same hero there. And it's really hard when Valda's making the picks onto Kylan, when Kylan has his ult up. You can't really focus him down. You gotta wait for that ult duration to go away before you can actively kill him.
Yeah, I think the problem with Valda right now and the spears are you pop them when you deal damage, right? So like, imagine if Monk grabs, if you took damage, like an arrow would break the grab. Like suddenly the character would feel a lot more useless. Well, I feel like that's the problem with Valda is like that spear is great, you get that catch, but if you can't immediately capitalize on with like a big burst of damage, it kind of feels almost wasted.
Yeah, and I mean, there's ways around that, right? You see right now, Trios Spear is a very, very viable weapon into Trios. Kind of always has been. Spear has seen some changes recently as well, though. But one of the nice things that you can do off of one of those Valda Spears, believe it or not, is you can actually use the Spear RMB, the overhead. It is one of the most damaging single hit